Welcome back to the grind for a quick guide on relics, just to try to simplify things for those of you who are confused. If you go into your crystals, you can either buy, like with Cavalier crystals, you can buy relic crystals with units, or you can form them with shards. And by the time they were released, everybody should have had some. I believe everyone should have had a 4-star relic formed, and maybe two or three 3-star relic forms. I had one 4-star and one 3-star, and it looks like I'm almost to forming a second 4-star relic. Then once you've opened them, to find them, you go to your champions, tab over to my relics, and there is where your relics are going to be. Now, relics have kind of two separate uses. One is for prestige, and the other is the functionality of benefiting your champions when bound to them. Which champion they're bound to does not impact your prestige in any way. They are completely separate utilities, and so to get the prestige part out of the way first, the top 5 prestige relics you have are going to add up and impact your relic prestige, and that is going to add on top of your champion prestige and then increase your summoner prestige, which is your total prestige. Now, in order to increase the prestige of the relics, you want to awaken them and increase their sig level, which is the same as champions, so pulling them multiple times, but also leveling them up, so the same as champions. Now, to rank up this relic, I need 3 of the tier 1 basic alloys, and when I have that, I can rank it up. It'll boost all the stats of the relic, which is more applied to the functionality of it, but it does also increase your prestige. You can also click on this rune slot. Now, below the relic is the rune slots, and higher rarity ones and higher rank ones will have more rune slots, so you can have more bonuses with them. But you want to also upgrade. Down here below the number 10 there, it says upgrade slot. I already upgraded it, and when I did that, it increased the prestige of this relic and therefore my overall prestige. So you want to do that for at least your top 5 relics when you have 5 relics, and that is all that really matters for prestige, is getting them, ranking them up, leveling them up, and awakening them. Now, the functionality of it is a little bit more complicated, and it applies to the specific champion that the relic is bound to. Okay, so the thing to keep in mind is that each relic's class can only be bound to a champion of that class. So Venom can only be bound to a cosmic champion because it's a cosmic relic. Now, I chose to bind it to Medusa just randomly, and if you look at the relic, you'll say the last hit inflicts a bleed vulnerability debuff, increasing the potency of future bleed effects. So the last hit of your striker, because when you apply a relic to a champion, that champion is going to get a striker, and then when you use that striker, you'll get the benefits from that part. There's also the runes, or the awaken ability below it, but mine's not awakened yet, so you'll get those bonuses from the awaken ability, and then the runes, you can kind of choose which one you want. And right now I have this rune applied, and I can swap over to this one if I want to, but this one is for each unique buff on the champion, bleed debuffs inflicted by hits landed against a bleeding opponent gain a little bit more duration. Now, these stats are smaller because it's a lower rank and a lower rarity relic, and some of them will benefit different champions more than others. Obviously, this Venom one is very much focused on cosmic champions that can apply bleeds. There are others that, like Hulkbuster, which I've currently added to, I've bound to Nimrod, because he's going to apply a shock vulnerability debuff, increasing the potency of shock effects. And then the rune that I have applied is increased shock debuff potency. And again, when you awaken those champions, you'll get some increased bonuses as well. When you rank them up and level them up, you'll get increased bonuses as well. So that is kind of how that works. And you want to try to find champions that synergize well with the bonuses. So for example here, Storms is gain a rampage buff, increasing attack rating while unblockable by 12%. And then the awaken ability is getting increased prowess potency effect when every time you land a hit while unblockable. So I have wanted Storm pretty bad because I think that would go really nicely with someone like Kitty Pryde, or probably even someone like Bishop, or really any of the mutants that have prowess effects and can go unblockable. But I particularly wanted it for Kitty Pryde because not only is it going to increase your attack rating during your special 2 when you're unblockable, but also hits landed during that unblockable can increase your prowess potency effect. So the next time you throw that special 2, the prowesses will do that much more. So now let's go into, we'll just make it simple. We'll go into Realm of Legends. Now, the relics don't apply to every single type of content. So you can't use it in Alliance War or Alliance Quest. And you can use it in, you can't use it, I don't think, in story questing. Oh, see, so there you go. I don't think you can even use it in this quest. With a bound relic entering the quest, we'll have it locked. Oh, so I think what that's saying is I can't change the relic from one champion to another while I'm in a quest. So that makes sense. But so it's not, you can't use them in all content, but there are certain ones that you can, and Battlegrounds is one that you can, which is interesting as well. It looks like they moved where that button is, so that's interesting. And it looks like it's just based on hits. So every time you land a hit, you're going to get a little bit more of that meter. And once you fill it up, you can activate it. And that will allow you to get the benefits from it. So we're going to want to throw that off before we throw our special 2. And I'm hoping that, well, let's just throw the special 1 to make sure we don't end up going to a special 3. So we're going to continue working on filling that now. And once we get that meter filled up, we are going to throw it off and then throw off our special 2. So we'll throw that off. There goes Hulkbuster. And there's the Shulk vulnerability. Oh, he was stunned as well. And there's the shock vulnerability debuff is on there. And now we're getting a little bit of increased damage from those shock effects. Now, obviously, at the rarity that it's at, it is not as powerful as when he's leveled up. And maybe at a higher rank, or a higher rarity. So if it was a 5-star or a 6-star, that bonuses would be more. So some of them that just add small bonuses to certain effects are really not going to be that noticeably effective to most of your champions. But some of them unlock new sort of things, which will, allow you to have a bit more utility potentially with those champions. But yeah, so that's kind of it. We don't really need to finish this fight, but maybe we will, just because. No, we're not going to finish it. I don't need that potion, even if I get it. But that's pretty much it. I hope that helped to clarify things a little bit. So you do definitely want to make sure you level up your relics as much as possible. If you didn't notice, you can go into the Glory Store and purchase alloys as well, and that will help you with leveling and ranking up your relics. And then you'll get embers as well. You should have a bunch of embers already to level up the rune slots, and then as they get higher rarity and higher ranks, you're going to need higher class or higher alloys, and also class alloys as well. So that will get a bit more complicated as we push up into the rankings, but hopefully this was helpful basic overview for you, and I hope to see you in the next video.